wrong. Why? Why are people getting pregnant? Why are they getting pregnant out of wedlock? What happened with falling in love with somebody and having a baby together and living your life together and solving the problems? Yeah, you're going to fight and argue. You might not even talk to each other for 2 years, but you figure out a way to make it right. What happened to these solemn obligations? You see, our society has allowed itself to slip out of marriage too easily. It's allowed itself to it's not a taboo thing. It's allowed itself to have free love. That started in the 1960s when you really go back, flower power and free love and the birth control and it's okay and, this love and all this stuff. Well, it isn't, because look what it's created today. In some sections of our country and our society, in some sections of cities around America, it's created babies having babies. 15-year-old girls having children, and they don't even know who the father is, or the father skips town and doesn't even obligate it. It's turned into a generational thing. See, and it's a terrible thing. And this has got to change in this world, in our country, because if it doesn't, we're being led down a path of complete destruction. Because a country is only as strong as the people that live in the country can be, both mentally, physically, educationally, socially, health-wise. We are only as strong as the people are in that country. And if we have weakness psychologically, if we have weakness physically, if we have weakness health-wise, if we have weakness on the social scale of communicating, if we have weakness on education, then we are a country that's destined to fail. And you look at it, and things are not going up. They're failing. Now you tell me that that's not true. We got 50 million people on welfare, more or less. Some sort of government assistance. And these are some of the things that we talked about yesterday. Fatherless families. Fatherless families. Sometimes, I know guys that got 6 or 7 different women pregnant. And when I come across people like that, I don't laugh. I don't laugh. Don't laugh. I look them straight in the face and I said, well, you can't keep it in your pants? You got a problem? Are you supporting those children? Are you supporting each one of them with mentorship, with love and compassion and empathy and money and food and health insurance? Are you supporting those people? And inevitably they laugh and they nod and they say some stupid, sarcastic, profane thing. It's the world according to Torero. Don't stick it in if you can't take care of it. It's just that simple to me. It's not that difficult. You have an obligation. Your marriage sucks? Too bad. You work it out until you can't work it out. And then you try to work it out again. And you can't work it out. At least give yourself a couple, 2, 3 chances to work it out. Now, obviously, if we're talking about violence in the family and domestic violence and these kind of disgusting, perverted, pathetic behaviors, that's a whole entirely different story. But, we've got to do something. Our society is far too free. Otherwise, we're going to look like friggin' Europe. And you want to look like Europe? Have you been to France and Germany and Spain and the Netherlands? Have you been to Italy, other than going down the cruise ship in the Mediterranean and getting drunk and eating good food? Have you actually been into these cities? I have. Let me tell you something. You don't want to be like Europe. We don't want to be like Europe in this country. I'm going to tell you that right now. They got people blowing people up in France, in Germany. They got terrorist activity that we only see a scratch of, the worst ones, but daily, every single major city in Europe is being assailed by these lunatics, these lunatic Islam idiots. And one of the things that I saw yesterday, which I've always said, is that, look, I don't care what you are. I don't care what you believe in. It makes no difference to me. But you have no right to take somebody else's life. You have no right at all on God's blue-green earth to harm anybody else in any way. To get your point across, to make some sort of change, you have no right. At the church, at Holman United Methodist Church, the beautiful thing of coming together under one cause at that church yesterday was that there were people of Muslim faith. There were people of Christian faith. There were people there of Jewish faith. See, that's what America is all about. That's what it's all about. It's all about bringing together people and ideas from all walks of life under a cause that's important. And so this is another thing that raised my eyebrows, like The Rock. See that? I can do that pretty good. Look at that. I can raise that eyebrow. On cue. Raise your eyebrow. Raise your eyebrow. Anytime you want it. Eh? Yeah, like that. So I'm raising my eyebrow for those of you who are watching. I can even raise it to music. Dun 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 dun. I just played that song with my eyebrows for those of you who are just listening. And if you want to look kind of sinister, you turn your head right, raise your left eyebrow, and squint a little bit, right? Yeah, sinister look. Okay, so these are some of the things that we were able to glean. So I wanted to talk a little bit about jobs and illegal immigration and fatherless families. Okay, and see if we can kind of connect some dots here. Okay? Because let's get down to the truth of the matter. Let's cut past all the politically correct silliness. Let's just get down to the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is all our jobs have gone out of this country. And there are some communities where they don't even have decent stores. Like Walmart or like Target. They don't even have decent shopping. There are some communities here in Los Angeles that you can walk for blocks before you can get to a grocery store. Let's talk about Detroit. We don't want to talk about Detroit because that's the worst. Oakland, that's another tough spot. You see, we don't even have some institutional type stores like Ralph's and Stater Brothers in some of these communities. And that's just wrong. And why? Why is that? That's the root. Why is that? Well, crime. Crime is the problem. And why do we have so much crime? We have fatherless families. And why don't we have fathers who are staying married? Because they haven't been trained and programmed. That's another thing that came out. The programming. We've been programmed wrong. There's a whole generation of young men and women, African Americans, Latinos, white people, that have just been programmed wrong. There's nothing attractive about getting a family going and splitting. There's nothing attractive about violence. There's nothing attractive about crime. We've been programmed wrong. There's nothing attractive about not knowing how to speak the English language correctly. There's nothing attractive about that. We've been programmed wrong. There's nothing attractive about wearing your pants below your butt. We've been programmed wrong. There's nothing attractive about having a mean face all the time. We've been programmed wrong. There's nothing attractive about doing drugs, selling drugs, pimping women, prostitution, human trafficking. We've been programmed wrong. Why have we been programmed that way? Why are there so many youth in this country that have been programmed to have this desensitization, to not be sensitive to violence, to be desensitized, forget it. I'll get to the word in a second. But why? Why have our senses been downgraded? This has only happened in the last 30 years. Striving for greatness. Why is that looked down on? Striving for something better. Why is that looked down on? You know, one of the things that Muslims do, which you cannot not respect, you have to respect this aspect about when they're dressed up in their ties, in their bow ties, and their beautiful suits, and they're standing on the corner, and they're passing out their newspaper, and they're talking what they believe in, and they're passing out the bean pies. The one thing that you have to understand, man, they're doing it with class. They're doing it with education. Now, I don't agree with their religion at all. There are some things I don't agree with it. But these people, you have to respect what they do. They've reprogrammed themselves to be successful at something that they have a passion about, that's positive, that's good for a community. Not those crazy, sicko Islam idiots, psychopaths. These people are psychopaths. They're programmed wrong. See, it's all about our programming. That's one of the things I took away from that meeting. So we've got jobs, we've got illegal immigration. We also have the fact that, you have to learn Spanish now. You have to learn Spanish now to get a job. What's that about? Now, there's no wrongness to learning Spanish. It's important. I think we should learn 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Mandarin Chinese. Because these are the 3 languages of the world. This is a world of business and commerce. And America is a business. Bingo! Bingo! There it is. There it is! The world according to Torero on thepowerofvoices.com. The Jesse T Show, straight on the point. There it is. That's the problem. America has turned into a business. And in a business, you only care about your profit margins, your return on your investment. Nothing else matters. And that's the problem. Not to say that America always never did business internationally, locally, statewide, in your city and town and community. That's how we stay afloat. That's capitalism. But what has happened has been pervertedly twisted to the degree in our lifetimes of the last 50 years. It has been twisted to the fact that the whole Ford Motor Company is taking every one of their small car assembly lines to Mexico in the next year and a half. I just read that report in Barron's report. Ford Motor Company is closing down where they make all their small cars and taking all of those jobs to Mexico. See, they don't care. They have the money. They control the politicians. That's why I like Trump. And I don't like Hillary Clinton. She's just the same old. The old political bureaucracy inside the Beltway in Washington, D.C. She's part of that programming that's wrong. We need something else. We need something better. We need somebody who knows how to play their game. If you don't know how to play their game, how do you know how to win? See, the corporations don't care about anything. And that's what has happened to our inner cities. It's bigger business to put people out of work and to keep them on government assistance programs than it is to put them to work and pay the higher wages in this country. Yeah. It's bigger business, more profit to get slave labor in China, where they have absolutely no pollution rules, where they can spew all the crap in the air, in the dirt, in the water. They can completely destroy and pollute their land. It's bigger business and more profit to build those things over there and then bring them back over here and sell them to you and I, who can hardly afford them anymore. I had to buy a new battery today. The Great Ghost, as you know, all in the day of the life of Jesse Terrero that I do, just about every day. Yesterday, my battery went dead. And so I had to buy a new battery today. And so I went to the battery, Interstate Batteries, good battery company. That's all they do is make batteries, all right? So how much is a new battery? $125. I said, $125 for a battery? Well, how much for the cheapest new battery? The $60. Well, how much for a rebuilt battery with a 90-day warranty? $45. And I looked at the guy and I said, I was down at an Interstate Battery place like this down in Los Angeles about a year and a half ago, and I had to buy a battery, and I bought a rebuilt 90-day warranty battery, and it only cost $30 with tax out the door about a year ago. He goes, yeah, prices went up. Oh, I asked the guy, did your wages go up? He laughed. You see, it's big business to keep us poor, broke, dumb, stupid, and hating each other. That's the business. That's the business of America. Don't let it fool you. Otherwise, we wouldn't have 50 million people on some government assistance program. And why do we have 50 million people on some government assistance program? Because all the jobs, the good paying jobs, the union jobs, the jobs that give you health insurance, the jobs that give you something that you can substantiate a life, the jobs that keep families together, that keep families from being fatherless families, the jobs that give somebody a good prideful feeling of being worthy of something. The jobs that are meaningful, that you can put your kids through college and take care of buying new shoes. The jobs that you can buy a place that you can call your home. The jobs that keep families together, keep communities together, to keep us together and talking and relating and becoming friends and lowering those fear factors and cutting down those walls. The jobs are gone, and they're never going to come back. Trump, Clinton, Mr. Magoo, or the Pillsbury Doughboy, they're never coming back. Once a company realizes that they can make the same profit or more profit without even raising the price, because they can drop the cost of labor to almost nothing, they're never coming back. Never coming back. Not going to happen. Jobs. We have to force our politicians to stop lying to us. They report about jobs. The headline that everybody gets in the newspaper, 4.7 to 5% unemployment going on in this country right now. And you, that's right, you believe it. if we have 4.7% unemployment and 5% unemployment, we should be in a recovery that should be shooting through the stratosphere into space. That means everybody's working. Everybody's producing something. It means people are buying those things and they're being made in our country. I mean, people. Are we just stupid? I used to grow up, I grew up in Pacoima in Sun Valley here in Los Angeles, and the cholas, the lowriders. Are you stupid? Are you freaking stupid? I never forget that sound. Yeah, I'm stupid. I mean, really? Yeah, we're stupid. We're stupid. Well, listen close. I'm trying to educate you. The discouraged workers and marginal workers. Sometimes they got a job, sometimes they don't got a job. They got a job for 4 months, they don't have a job for 3 months. They have a job for a week, they don't have a job for 9 weeks. They have a job for a year, they don't have a job for 3 years. Marginal workers. 6% interest, 6% unemployment. Yeah. You go talk to anybody in the inner cities. You go talk to the mothers that I spoke to yesterday, and the fathers and the men who are standing upright and straight and saying, this has to change. You go talk to them. 6%. Right. You know, in the African American society, in the black society today, since Obama was president, black youth, black men and women, African Americans have the highest unemployment ever. Just do your friggin' homework. What has Obama done for you? Gave you a shaft up the rear end. That's what he's done. You're unemployed. Unbelievable, the statistic. And yet, you still vote for the Democratic Party. And screwing you for your whole life. I'm not saying vote Republican. Vote Libertarian. Vote Green Party. I think it's a shame that those people aren't allowed to be on this debate that's happening September 26th because they, quote, couldn't get 15%. What kind of crap is that? You know why they're not on the debate on September 26th? Because the system is afraid of them. Because with no effort, no money, no backing, Johnson's got 9% and Stein has 2%. Look at, stop voting Democrat. I don't care who you vote for. You don't want to vote for Republicans? That's fine. Don't. Then vote for Mr. Magoo's party. You know? Vote for somebody. Vote for the party that takes care of cows in Wyoming. But that party has been screwing you your whole life. And I'm not, hey, the Republicans are no saints, let me tell you. They're absolutely no saints. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're both rooted from the same satanic Luciferian evil. And that is, America's a business. The corporate aristocracy and the banking. America's a business. This is why we have no jobs in this country anymore. Not because they just all disappeared by some perchance thing. They were, by choice, ripped out of this country and put someplace else, all for the dollar profit. If you add the discouraged and part-time workers into the unemployment statistic, it's 9.8%, almost 10% of America. Man. It's mind-boggling. And then we let a bunch of illegal immigrants into this country from Mexico, from Central America, from Asia, from the northeastern bloc where Russia used to be, okay? From the Middle East. We just let people in. Just come on in. Come on down. Come on in. Oh, that does great numbers for those of us who are looking for jobs. We should be able to regulate how many people we want to come in our country, period, end quote. And as far as I'm concerned, we should turn the tap off. Shut it down. We don't need any more people here. Redo the immigration laws in this country. They're ancient anyway. You want to solve the problem of unemployment? Don't let anybody else in. You want to solve the problem of unemployment? Tell the corporations and the banking institutions, you don't put your major corporations, your major assembly plants, and your major things in this country right now by next Tuesday. You don't get to sell anything in this country anymore. Nationalize them. You'll see how fast these people will scurry. You know how many people will be shot, killed, executed, and assassinated? They'd probably blow the White House up. That movie, White House Down, London Down, that probably would happen. You solve the problem right there real fast. You don't want your son or daughter to be looking at porn on their smartphone when they're 13 years old, or talking crap to their friends, using profanity and looking at disgusting, rotten videos. You take the phone away from them and bang it with a hammer and throw it in the friggin' trash can. That's what I did. My kids didn't do that, but hey, you talk to my daughter, she'll tell you how many times I grabbed the phone out of her hand driving down the freeway, tossed it out the freaking freeway, out the window. She's a professional athlete today. Professional coach, double majored, criminal justice degree, French degree. Successful, on her way to becoming something spectacular. You see, our country's twisted. We've allowed ourselves to do this to ourselves. We've allowed ourselves to keep this murdering going on in the inner cities because it's good business. It's good business. You know, every time an ambulance comes out to pick somebody's dead body up, they charge $1,000, and somebody has to pay for that. And if you can't pay for it, guess who pays for it? The taxpayer. It's good business. Now, if you really look at the unemployment rate and the job rate, and you look at the inner cities where African Americans are really, really hit hard. They're hit so hard. They're hit so hard, ladies and gentlemen. You have no idea how hard they're hit. I'm not a Black Lives Matter dude. I think they're a friggin' terrorist organization. That's not the way to get something done. That's just not the way to get something done in 2016. You don't do that, okay? But I'll tell you something. When they start talking about jobs and they start talking about their cities and towns being ruined by who? By the policies set up by the politicians, by the policies set up by the corporate aristocracy, by the banking, by all of that. Targeted. Why? Why are they targeted? Why? Because it's good business to put them in jail. It's good business to put Latinos in jail. It's good business to put white people in jail. It's good business to put Asians in jail. It's good business. $60,000 a year to keep one person in prison a year. We want murderers. We want killers. We want drug runners and perverts and pedophiles and human traffickers. We want that. We want 459. We want assault and battery people. We want that. And why not it be black people? It can be Latin people too. Prisons are filling up with Latin gangs. You mean white people too? There is no color barrier there. It's business. You want to make a change? That's who we go after. Nah, you see, that's the problem. You know what the actual unemployment, when you really look at all the other things, the true unemployment in this country, it's like 23%. That's what it's like. 23%. I'm talking about the ones that have just plumb given up, and they're on government assistance now. Oh, wow. Isn't that a great correlation? People, don't be stupid. Put it together. Be smart. Unemployment, those that just quit looking for jobs. Where do you think they get their food and their medicine and their clothes? Where do you think they get their bills paid for? Think some good fairy leaves money under their pillow because they lost all their teeth? They get it from government assistance. That's why we've ballooned that in this country. And if we don't watch out, this government assistance is going to double. We're going to have 100 million people. We are going on the verge of becoming a third world nation. It could happen so fast. Drive past the 10 freeway in Los Angeles. And don't tell me I'm wrong. Jobs. Immigration, speaking the English language, learning Spanish, learning Mandarin Chinese, making it an equal opportunity, adults working, where kids used to work, fatherless families, because they have no jobs. And last but not least, love. But how do you learn love if you don't learn it at home? You certainly don't learn it watching TV or playing video games or playing smartphone games where you're killing and destroying and blowing things up, Grand Theft Auto 47 or whatever the heck number it is. So all they're doing is killing, raping, murdering, destroying. What do you think? What do you think the people are going to grow up being? You think if somebody learns that when they're 4 years old, that all of a sudden they're going to have this epiphany when they're 19 or 16? You think that's going to happen? Yeah, they're going to have an epiphany with a 45 in your head and pull the trigger because they're desensitized. That's the word I was looking for. All right. This birther issue thing, I'm on real quick. Trump said today, he's done with it. He said, President Obama was born in America, period. I'm done. That fast. And he did say that Clinton started it in 2008, 2007. Well, look at, there's a video there where Obama and Clinton are together, and they're arguing the point about whether he's a born American or not. And it was Clinton who started this whole thing. Look up a couple of names. Look up Obama's original campaign manager, David Plouffe, Plouffe. Look that up. Read about what he said. He said that offensive, shameful fear-mongering that we've seen from either party. And he was talking also about his own party. That goes back to 2008. 2007, Clinton's campaign manager, Mark Penn, Penn, look him up, circulated a strategy in which he suggested that Obama was not a true American. Okay? This was a campaign strategy that they took upon themselves, the Clinton organization, when they were losing to Obama. Oh, it was all fine and dandy in 2007. But 2008, when all of a sudden Mrs. Hillary Clinton was losing the race and she was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it, they came up with this idea and circulated it out. It's just right there. It comes from the Washington Post. Look up the Washington Post and the article by David Weigel. These people started it. And it just makes logic. I mean, look at the mud throwing they're doing now. It's unbelievable. All they had to do was foster a little bit of this on the internet, and the internet went hog wild and crazy. This is something that they created, and there is no political major office that doesn't know what their campaign manager is doing. Period. Nothing happens per chance, and nothing is as it seems. It's over with. Make the country great again. That's done. The Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday, right here from 5 to 6. Hey, we're straight on the point. We are always on the air and everywhere, from the community to the world. On thepowerofvoices.com, facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. The fabulous Jesse T Show is on tonight. We'll be broadcasting from Beverly Hills, and we've got some entertainment fun that's going to be happening, baby. It's going to be a good time. Let's get our community back together. Let's challenge these banks and these corporations and these politicians to stop lying, to give our jobs back, to bring them back, and let's make them hurt if they don't. That's what I say, because they are the culprit of it. They are the problems. We can solve it, but we can only solve it together. Have a great weekend. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya!